Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to a very, very special edition of Unearthed. I am absolutely thrilled to be joined on Zoom today by the wonderful Dr. Brannick. And we are going to be talking today about a very interesting topic. We have a supplement that was launched just a couple of months ago in the Australian and New Zealand market called PBAssist. Now, some of you may be familiar with this product, and some of you may be jumping on and learning a little bit today because you don't know how to use it within your routines, but more so what does it do for your system and how it can support both yourself as well as your family members. I must admit, I am new to this product. I am really keen to learn a lot more about how I can use it for my own family's well-being as well as myself. So I'm going to pass the microphone, so to speak, over to you, Dr. Riggs. I would love to know a little bit more about PBAssist. So first of all, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate the invite. It's always a pleasure to be talking to my Aussie and Kiwi friends.
And I promise I'll speak slower because I know that when I speak rather fast, my accent becomes really thick and my US counterpart don't know what I'm saying.
The truth is that I have the accent now because, we're filming for Australia. You don't have the accent. So
we can understand you perfectly fine. So you speak freely.
Good.
But thank you for joining us today. I know that this is a topic that you are very passionate and knowledgeable about. So I'm really excited to delve deep in today. So first of all, I'd love to know about PBAssist as a whole. What can you share with us about this amazing product?
So PBAssist was developed because we know how important the GI tract is. We know that it plays a significant role in many systems in the body. We're making now more and more correlations between the health of our gut and the health of so much of the rest of our body. And we know that there's factors that influence the health of the gut that unfortunately are mostly negative influences. For instance, when we eat, perhaps we're going out to grab a quick bite to eat and it's fast food. We know that within just a couple of hours, that meal has affected our GI tract and the microbiome and the bacteria that are in our GI tract simply by that one meal. And so making sure that we can keep a very healthy, a very robust GI tract that's doing all of the things we need it to do is so very important for us. And so that's really where that PBAssist product was born. And that's why it has become really a staple supplement for us to be taking every single day, is because of those factors that are influencing our GI tract on a daily basis.
Yeah, amazing. And we will talk about routines towards the end of today's session because I know, just like myself, we're really interested to know about how we can infuse this product into our day-to-day living. But I want to go back to the formulation. What's exactly inside PBAssist that helps to support our GI tract?
You bet. So it's an interesting question. And I'll start by saying this. We like to think of ourselves as human. But the fact is we probably are more bacteria cells in our body than we have human cells.
That's a nice introduction, isn't it?
Isn't that interesting? Like we're really this planet that bacteria is living on rather than so much humans that are housing bacteria. It's kind of the other way around. And so it just tells you how significant the bacteria is to keep healthy within our system. So the PBAssist product consists of several types of bacteria. So Bifidobacterium, and then there's several subspecies, Bifidum, Lactis, Longum, and those are somewhere around 770 million colony-forming units to 900 million in the case of Bifidobacterium lactis. We also have Lactobacillus within the system, and that's Acidophilus, Casei, and Salivarius. And those are somewhere between 2.88 billion colony-forming units down to 670 million colony-forming units of the Lactobacillus salivarius. Within this also, we have fructooligosaccharides. We have 50 milligrams of fructooligosaccharides, and those are important because that's the prebiotic that the probiotic lives off of. we have to give the probiotic, the bacteria, something to live off of as it transits through our GI tract. And that's why we have the fructooligosaccharides, or FOS, if you want to just shorten it, for those bacteria to live off of. That's why that's in there. So it's really those 7 things: the bifidobacterium, the lactobacillus, 3 of each, and then the fructooligosaccharides that are in the PBAssist. The stomach's role is to, number one, really have some acid in there to start breaking down some of the molecules within our food. But number 2, its role is to kill off microorganisms that we consume on our food that may be harmful for us. So it somewhat sterilizes that food. So when you think about drinking a probiotic supplement, that bacteria, the probiotics, have to go through that stomach acid, and many of them are killed off. Whereas the PBAssist product has that double encapsulation, the outer capsule that disintegrates fairly easily within the stomach, so that perfect, yeah. So that's the clear capsule. It has those fructooligosaccharides in them. And then the green capsule inside doesn't release into the stomach. It actually releases in the small intestine, where now that the environment is neutral. It's not too acidic. It's not too basic. And so the bacteria actually are going to thrive and survive within that non-acidic environment. So we skip that breakdown of the bacteria in the stomach by doing that. So yes, we should consume foods that have been fermented. You think about things like kimchi, sauerkraut, those sorts of things should be a part of our regular diet. But even those, some of the bacteria that we find on those are being killed off through that stomach acid, whereas the PBAssist avoids that altogether.
Yeah, right. That's so interesting. So it's really a bit more of that holistic perspective when it comes to gut health, like it is with everything. And I'm so sorry, my lights seem to be flashing about. It looks like I'm giving you a big wave. It's because I've got the lights to come back on. So when we're talking about, I guess, our health and our wellness, and this is the topic that we are talking about quite frequently at the moment, even yourself and I were talking about lifelong vitality last month and how we can incorporate that into our foundational health. So I see PBAssist is sliding into that space where, in conjunction with a healthy food intake, with your pre and probiotic style of foods, as well as a supplement mechanism such as PBAssist, that will give you the best outcome. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, because there are certain things that our bodies cannot produce. So for instance, we were just talking about lactobacillus. Lactobacillus in its various forms, part of its job is to create an enzyme for us that we don't make, called lactase. And that enzyme breaks down the sugars that you find in dairy products, right? So that then we can absorb those nutrients that we can get from cheese and milk and other things. And if we don't have that bacteria within us, we really struggle to break those things down. And then consuming them will cause us some GI distress because we don't have the enzymes to break it down. The other thing that those bacteria do for us is they actually help create some vitamins from the food that we eat, that then we absorb those vitamins in the GI tract. And so they're extremely helpful for us at maintaining that health. In addition to, we take our LLV, which has a good amount of those vitamins, minerals, omega-3 fatty acids that we talked about last time. And then we take this great probiotic supplement that also helps support the system in having as much of a healthy nutrient absorption as we can. These are extremely helpful for that. Also, incidentally, they're helpful at supporting a healthy lining of the GI tract. That lining of the GI tract, when you think about the small intestine, if you were to lay out the absorptive area of the small intestine, it's about the size of a tennis court. That's how much surface area we have to absorb nutrients in there. So you might imagine how important that is to keep that lining of the GI tract healthy. And the PBAssist is incredible at supporting that healthy function of the mucosal membrane of the gastrointestinal tract. the lining of the GI tract, having now breaks in that absorption. We talked about that tennis court volume of absorptive tissue. Now we're getting breaks in that tissue where large molecules that were meant to be broken down into smaller molecules before they're absorbed through the cells, large molecules are able to escape through, go into the bloodstream, and now they're seen by the bloodstream, and the immune system that we just talked about with the gulp says, I don't know what this is. I'm not sure what this is. And so they start to mount an immune response against that thing. So we want to make sure that we have nice, tight, what we call gap junctions between the cells in the GI tract, so that only those small molecules that have been fully broken down gets into the bloodstream, and our body recognizes those as amino acids or glucose or whatever it is, and distributes it appropriately. So the PBAssist product helps to make sure of two things. Number one, it helps to make sure that we've broken down the food properly into the very tiniest molecules, so that then the cells will have those pass through the system. Plus, it helps keep that lining of the GI tract healthy to seal those gap junctions and make sure that they're good. You could also consider something like peppermint to be helpful for that. We know that peppermint is nice and soothing to the GI tract. It also is very supportive of healthy gap junctions in the GI tract as well. So consuming some peppermint oil can be helpful for us in that particular issue. There's some other issues that are really important with PBAssist. We all probably know someone that when they deal with stressful situations, that their GI tract all of a sudden has some problems. When you take a probiotic like PBAssist, it's been shown to be extremely helpful at maintaining, as far as what we would want to consider homeostasis in the GI tract, where we're not too loose, we're not too, stopped up. We're kind of in that great range where we want to be with normal function, normal speed of the GI tract. So PBAssist can be helpful for that as well as the issue with the gap junctions.
Yeah, okay. And I know it's a unglamorous type of conversation when we're talking about bowel movements, but hey, let's normalize it, because we're all humans, or in your instance, you've said, we're all filled with the bacteria, so we're all the same, and so we all have the same functions, and we know what it can feel like when it doesn't operate well. So it's really great to know that we have a support mechanism here. A thought's just popped into my mind. What about when people eat a type of food, for example, or they've gone away on a trip where they're eating foods that aren't necessarily agreeing with them? I think of times that I've gone overseas to Bali or to Thailand, and I know that you're expecting to almost get an upset tummy from the different types of foods and flavors that are coming through. Would PBAssist be supportive in that type of situation?
Absolutely. So when I travel, and I do that quite a bit with my job, I will take PBAssist 2 to 3 times a day on those trips, just because I know that there's going to be some disruption of the GI tract with what I'm eating, either from new foods that I'm consuming, or perhaps because of the schedule, sometimes it's fast foods or highly processed foods that I don't normally eat in my everyday life at home. But because of the schedule, somebody just grabbed me something out of a fast food restaurant. And as I already spoke about earlier, we know that within a few hours, that's disrupted my microbiome. So that PBAssist 2 to 3 times a day is helpful for me. Do you guys have Terrazyme in your market also?
We absolutely do.
Terrazyme is also a must-have when I'm traveling. I take Terrazyme with every single meal when I'm traveling for exactly that same reason. I want to make sure that I'm digesting those nutrients properly, breaking it down as best I can. And so having that with me in combination with the PBAssist is fantastic for travel. Really, it's anytime your normal diet that you would be doing wherever it is going to be disrupted. That might be holidays where you're eating things very differently than you would on non-holidays. That might be travel. It might be birthdays, those sorts of events where your diet has shifted just a little bit. That PBAssist at 2 to 3 times a day is fantastic for those particular times.
So you can really ramp up that support for not only your GI tract, but your immune system and your general health and well-being through those extreme cases when you're not eating the normal everyday foods. What
Yeah.
about in the day to day? How
Yeah.
often would you recommend taking PBAssist? I'll be honest, I've had a look, I've done a whole bunch of research on this product, and I've got a little bit of two sides of the story, so to speak. I've read that there's one that says some information that says that if you are doing a cleanse or any kind of system refresh, then it's really great to just take it for a 10-day period. And then there's also some information that says take it daily on a daily basis, or in your instance, if you're traveling, take it up to 3 times a day.
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
So certainly it's a part of our cleanse and restore protocol. And as if you're going through a cleanse, you absolutely need to restore that healthy bacteria. Part of the cleanse, as much as we like to think that a cleanse is only targeting bacteria that is bad for us or is not beneficial for us, the fact is a cleanse sometimes gets rid of some of the bacteria that is also good for us. So you're really left with this, we'll just say clean slate, right? And so it's fertile ground for all sorts of bacteria to come in and start setting up shop there. You want to be able to direct the exact type of bacteria you want to set up there. And that's what that PBAssist is for in that restore part of a cleanse and restore protocol. So absolutely, that's imperative that you do that 10 days of the PBAssist so that you're selective in the type of bacteria that's now going into the GI tract and now restoring that microbiome. But I will tell you that I take PBAssist every day. I read the research. I know the research on the microbiome. And so for me, it's an everyday supplement. I take it once a day. There may be those that are dealing with certain challenges, some that we talked about earlier, that may need to take it 2 or 3 times a day. For me, I tend to have a pretty healthy GI tract. We eat lots of fresh fruits and vegetables out of our garden and our orchard. We have fresh farm eggs because we have chickens. So my diet is fairly healthy, okay, fairly. And so for me, my need for PBAssist is probably just once a day. For those that maybe don't have that opportunity or are dealing with some challenges, they may need to take it 2 or 3 times a day to help support their system. But again, for me, it's an absolute every single day I take my capsule of PBAssist. I think probably also because we know also that there are a lot of neurochemicals that are formed in the GI tract, and those neurotransmitters they help us feel good. They help us feel better. So for instance, serotonin is largely made in the gut, and serotonin is a feel-good neurotransmitter. And we know that if we have a healthy gut, we have better serotonin production, and therefore we feel better mentally. We've got more clarity. We're feeling our mood is sustained. And all of those things. And so for me, that's another good reason to be taking PBAssist every single day is to support a healthy mood, to support a healthy mental function and mental outlook on things.
I was just going to ask that because we know about the gut-brain axis and we know how there are those neurotransmitters and they talk. So when your gut isn't feeling as happy as it should be, you can physically see the signs. Your skin tends to break out and be more reactional. Your hair, your skin, your nails, they are all going to not be optimal. And then what you can't see, but what you can feel is obviously your mind and your so if you're going through a particularly stressful situation, you're finding that you're really at the top of that peak in terms of stress response, your kettle is almost bubbling over. Is that when you'd be ramping up the PBAssist of sorts?
Absolutely. And just to refer back to our previous conversation, it's also a time I would ramp up my XE-omegas.
Okay.
Those omega-3 fatty acids are so helpful during those times of stress that I would probably ramp those up to double or maybe even triple the dose for that period of time while I'm dealing with those stressful situations, because that too can be extremely supportive of those stressful situations for us.
That's great advice. So we've got the lifelong vitality as our foundational health. That's a daily taking. If you're going through heightened stressful situations, ramp up your XEO-omegas. Now you want to be taking Terrazyme on a daily basis when you're having your big meals. So whether it's possibly your lunch or your evening meal, which is classically higher in, say, carbohydrates. You're wanting to really help that enzymatic breakdown so that your body can absorb those nutrients. Have I got all of that correct? Just
Yep,
shake your head.
correct.
You're saying, Jess, that's so
Yep.
wrong.
You're doing great.
Okay, good, good, good. I'm getting there because I'm thinking about it myself. How do I build this into my day to day? Because it can become overwhelming. You pick up that beautiful merchandise box that doTERRA sells, and we've got all those little compartments, and we put our supplements in there. And then you look at it, and you go, but when do I take that? How do I take that? Well, I don't know. And so it's really great to understand, what do I need to do on a daily basis? Let's just break it down. Your foundational health is your lifelong vitality. Your TerraZyme is based around the foods that you eat. Your PBAssist is a daily basis to support your immune system function and maintain immune system function, as well as support the healthy flora in your gut. Is there anything else that I am missing in my day-to-day that I need to do?
Well, I think that I'm just thinking about some other things within the wellness pyramid. I find that what's also helpful for me is to take time for meditation every day. And that is also a daily routine for me. And I usually use oils in my meditation practice. Going back to the stress and how we handle stress, one of the things that we know is that if we have a meditation practice, that when we're dealing with stress, we handle that stress so much better, because our brain is used to accessing those pathways of, I know how to get my adrenaline calmed down. I know how to get my breathing under control, my heart rate under control. And so meditation is a common thing that I'll do every single day with an oil. My personal favorites are things like vetiver. I love the wood oils like cedar wood. Sandalwood is another favorite of mine. We recently launched a blend in Japan that I'm personally in love with called Morinoto. It is an amazing blend. As a matter of fact, Adam Barrelay, which you all know from your market, helped me launch that blend in Japan. He was fantastic at helping people understand really what this blend can do for you. And so for me, a blend like that is an everyday. As a matter of fact, that's what I have diffusing in my diffuser right there is my Morinoto blend. Because it helps my system kind of maintain that homeostasis, calm down, right, and be okay. So for me, that's another daily thing. So in addition to the supplements, that's probably another oil that I use every single day. The other oil that I use every day in my own personal practice is frankincense. And what I do with frankincense, because frankincense really helps me change my energy a bit. So if I've had a stressful day at work, things have been challenging, there's deadlines coming up, I'm trying to catch up on things, I don't like to bring that energy home to my family. And so for me, I use some frankincense. I put frankincense on my hands. I cover my mouth and nose. I breathe deeply. And then I kind of rub that on myself. And really that allows me to reset that energy or my energetic fields so that when I go home, I can be husband and father and do all those things without dragging some of that stressful energy, we'll call it, home to my family. And so that's another daily routine for me in using the oils and using our supplements. So
isn't that beautiful? I have the exact opposite. That after I've dropped the kids off at childcare in kindergarten and I've battled the Melbourne traffic, I get to my desk and I put a drop of frankincense under the bottom of my tongue. I'm resetting, of course, but I'm resetting against the chaos that I've just had into the relaxation that is my role at doTERRA.
Well, since it's your morning and my nighttime, we're probably doing this at the same time.
Let's start a new habit, right, guys? It is 8 a.m. in Australian Eastern Standard Times. It's about 4 o'clock Utah time. We all jump on the bandwagon. I'm going to have to send you an alarm. It's 3 p.m. our time, so it's probably in the middle of the night your time, but we do a greens shot. So every day in our office, we have our greens powder, and we put it in a bit of water and we down it. And I tell you what, it is a beautiful way to finish off the afternoon and kind of re-spark that energy. So I guess a little bit of extra
Great.
in the routine that we can share with others. But look, I
Love
don't
that.
want to take up any more of your time. I could obviously chat with you for hours and hours and hours about everything because you're just such a delight and
Oh,
you're a
thank
wealth of
you.
knowledge. But thank you so much for sharing all of this information about PBAssist. For anyone that hasn't experienced PBAssist yet or feels like it would be supportive for you and your body, please reach out to your nearest wellness advocate, your leader, or jump onto your back office and pick one up because I can speak from personal experience. I'm seeing some incredible results from in my system, how I'm feeling after taking some PBAssist. So I hope that you too experience those feelings of wellness as well. I'm looking forward to our next conversation. Dr. Riggs, we have got some really exciting products coming up in the next couple of months. I'm not going to let anything out of the bag yet, but there might be something starting with a that's coming in the next little while that we'll be talking about. So
Maybe so. Another thing to add to our daily routine, for sure.
I was going to say that, and I think that let's get in the habit over the next couple of months, everybody, to start building that foundational health, your lifelong vitality, your Terrazyme, your PBAssist, and using your oils for emotional support. Because once you've built that foundation, then a product starting with a might be able to infuse its way into that routine, and you may not feel as overwhelmed with everything that you can do to support your well-being. So
Jess, we were just talking about the fact that I'm going to be out there in June for convention. I'm so excited to be back out with my friends out there. What I would love to hear from all of our wellness advocates as they come up and talk to me, would love to hear your personal experiences with LLV and PBAssist and how you have felt with taking those daily. And then we'll talk about how to incorporate this new product into that routine to help you feel even better, which I'm so excited about, as well as one other product that I am super passionate about. We'll talk about that when I get there, but I'm really excited about the launch of this other product as well. It's a pet project of mine I've been working on for years and super excited to be coming to Australia to launch this product with all of you. So pretty excited.
Can't wait to have you. So for now, thank you so much for all of your time and enjoy your evening. Take some frankincense and then enjoy some time with your beautiful family. And we'll catch you again soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jess. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.